Well, hi everyone, it's so nice to have you here. This video today is about vintage pedals, and what we've got here today is the Boss Phaser pedal. This is the PH-1R, and this is actually vintage, and if you think 1980s vintage, it's actually an updated version of the PH-1 pedal, which is why it's got the R on there. And the R means that it's got this extra knob here, which is the resonance knob. Basically, it's a feedback control. And what it does, it is used to increase tonal variations. Now, this is a 4-stage phaser pedal, just like the original PH-1. And at its time, there was probably only a couple of competitors around. MXR did the Phase 90, and the most famous one is the Small Stone phaser pedal, Electro Harmonics. And here's a more recent version of that. But we're not doing that because it's a new pedal. There's differences in versions. If you want to sort of get involved in vintage pedals and you want to make sure that you definitely have a good quality one. Notice how the PH-1R label here is underneath the E. So this was a later one. The earlier ones, it was actually underneath the S. It happened around sort of serial number 14XX or later. The thumb screw here is black, and the earlier ones had a silver thumb screw. But one thing to notice is the label on the back there is black. What's so special about this pedal is it's an analog phaser circuit in there. It has, obviously we've got the rate and depth, which you see on most phaser pedals. It draws about 11 milliamps, which is really, really small amount of current. Takes your standard 9-volt battery. They just pop into underneath, like standard Boss pedals. If you are aware of these, the battery just goes in under here in that section, and you'll see there's a little 9-volt battery adapter there. So you can power these completely on battery, and the batteries do last quite a long time on these. Or alternatively, like I'm doing here, you power these with a Boss PSA adapter. Now, I'm actually using the Boss PSA adapter, which is what they recommend to use, so I would suggest that you definitely get that. For the Techno heads, it has an impedance of about 470 kilo ohms. Signal to noise ratio is over 90 decibels, and the recommended load impedance is over 10k ohms. The LFO speed on this rate knob here is 100 milliseconds all the way down to 16 seconds. So that's actually really quite a low LFO, that is. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the tech specs. Let's have a listen. So this is a Roland Boutique SH01A. And what I've got here is just a sawtooth with a bit of a long release and a bit of a slow attack. Okay, now let's chuck the phaser on. So that is maximum depth and slowest rate. Now let's adjust this resonance so we can hear the difference. So let's turn it all the way off. And now let's turn it all the way up. Alright, now let's give this rate knob a bit of a wiggle. that's without the resonance. And that's with that full resonance. You can hear there's a bit of a crispness to the end of that, so let's reduce that resonance. And if we add a bit of delay in, alright, let's try a different sound. Okay, let's try an arpeggiator on here. Okay, let's try a different sounding patch. There's one here with a bit of noise in it. Yeah, this one. Here we go. Alright, one thing I love about phasers is on synths, when you've got a synth with noise, you can make some cool sounding wind sounds. Let's get that slowed down. Now this has got a little bit of delay on it. Let's turn the delay off so you can hear it without the delay. A bit of delay again. Alright, so there is the Boss Phaser PH1-R. I hope you like it. Stick a thumbs up if you did, stick a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave a comment below if you've got one or you'd like one, or if there's something you'd like to ask about it. Vintage pedals are cool if you look after them. Stay tuned, there's another video coming out where I'll show you another vintage pedal. So please subscribe and we'll catch you then. Bye.